Hi, my name is Bruce Dorn. I'm one of the staff scientists that works at Science North. And this weekend, we're changing our clocks to standard time. In other words, we are changing our clocks back 1 hour, so we get an extra hour of sleep this weekend. We are currently in daylight savings time. And the reason behind daylight savings time was to provide people with an extra hour of daylight when they are the most active. In other words, there's more daylight later during the day. So that would allow people to remain active. And also we would use less energy because we wouldn't need as much lighting. So that's why daylight savings time was established. Changes in hours does affect our body rhythm. We feel a little groggy and sleepy. It's usually less pronounced during the time that we go back to standard time, but it's more pronounced during daylight savings time. So what's going on? Our bodies have a normal rhythm called a circadian rhythm. Essentially, it's like an internal 24-hour clock that is based on the daylight hours and also on clocks. So essentially, your body knows when to wake up or go to sleep. When we change our clocks, we are kind of changing this circadian rhythm. In other words, we're waking up or going to bed, an hour earlier or later, essentially making you feel tired. And it can take, for some people, a couple of days, or other people a couple of weeks to retrain that circadian rhythm. But in the meantime, you feel tired, restless, a bit groggy. Your attention span may be a little bit different. You might have trouble concentrate. And scientists have actually seen that this can actually affect the health of your body. There's a couple of things you could do to help with your transition. First of all, you can go to bed about 10 to 15 minutes a bit later, a few days before the time change, and also wake up a bit later. A couple also other things you should do is have good sleep hygiene, which means you wake up and you sleep at the time you normally do. Limit the amount of TV and social media that you look at before going to bed. Get out and get some sun. That will help with your circadian rhythm, that kind of reset it. Limit your caffeine intake. And if you're really, really tired, you can take a nap, but limit it to 20 minutes. If you do those things, it will help you kind of reestablish your circadian rhythm at a rate that's going to be a bit faster. So changing our clocks made sense when we were in agrarian or farming society. It made sense during the summer months to have longer days when you're farming. But doesn't really make sense today. With the technology that we have, farmers can work much later during the day, and most of us, our activities are not really based on just daylight hours. So here's my question to everybody. Should we continue changing our clocks twice a year, especially since it really affects our body and doesn't really have a useful purpose? What do you think? Leave us a comment.